Greetings. It's been a while. I will say it's been a while. I have recorded, made these documents, and these life has been lifing, ladies. So I want us to get started. I'm not going to delay anything. I'm going to pick up where we left off. So this lesson is don't let them plant what they won't show you. Okay. Recognizing the words designed to make you doubt yourself and refusing to water them. Just going through a lot of situations and circumstances over the past month, I want to say, there have been situations and circumstances where there are people that I've let into my life who have done this very thing, where they have sown seeds and you are in certain situations where you will start to recognize those seeds that are being planted and the people that are around you that are sowing those seeds. So, without further ado, let us get started. So, I'm going to introduce myself. I want to start tonight with something real. Really, what I said is, has anyone ever said something to you, not really specific, but and not something that could actually you could actually respond to, but something just vague enough to get you to make you get into your head and literally make you stay there. Okay. Something like people have been talking about you, or you should hear what so and so said about you, and then there's nothing after that. Then there's like radio silence when things like that happen. There's no detail, there's no evidence, there's no specifics, there's no proof of anything. It's just what came out of their mouth, basically just the seed. And then suddenly you're not thinking about your purpose anymore. You're not thinking about how valuable you are, how energetic you are, how needed you are across the board. I'm going to turn this light off here. Hopefully you can see me now. Let's go ahead and turn that other light off. All right, so here we go. All right, there it is. Okay, so suddenly you're not talking about your purpose. You're not thinking about your purpose. You're not moving in your purpose. You're not moving where you're supposed to be moving. Your growth, your next move, you're thinking about what was said, okay, and who said it, what it means, why they said it, where did it come from, and have they always felt this way while you've been talking to them? Now, whether it's true or not, it's just that, okay? And you've moved off yourself. Tonight, we're going to talk about that move, okay? Why it is, why people make it, and how to make sure that it never works again, okay? 5 truths about words designed to destabilize you, okay? Truth number one, vague information is not information, it's a weapon, okay? Proverbs 26:20. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, a quarrel dies down. Okay, so without anybody gossiping about you, the quarrel just kind of goes away. There's nothing else to say. There's a specific kind of conversation that sounds like it is giving you something, but actually taking something. When someone says, people have been coming to me about you, and stops there, they are not informing you. Okay, I want you to understand that they're not informing you. They are destabilizing you. Okay, stopping you dead in your tracks. So there's no movement. So there's no traction. So that you're not keeping forward. Okay. Real information has content. It has something. It has meat to it. Okay. There's specifics. There's a reason why you're saying what you're saying. Are you saying it to inform me? Are you saying it to protect me? Are you saying it because I need to know about it? What was the purpose of why you said what you said? Real concern names itself. Real friendship says, I heard this and I just wanted you to know specifically what was said about you. Anything else is a seed planted without evidence, designed not to help you grow, but to stop you from growing. Okay. When people come to you and they give you this information, it's not to help you grow, it's just to stop you. Okay. Because Pretty much what that is they like that information. If you come to me and tell me, well, so and so said something about you, it's really like, okay, what was the purpose of you saying it? And why were you so comfortable to have this conversation and not call me and let me in on it? And I always tell people that if someone comes to you and says anything about me, please call me because I'm the only one who can change me. I'm the only one who can navigate through this conversation. Okay. And that's the cruelest part is that they want to stop you from growing. You don't do the rest of the work yourself. They planted the seed and leave. And your own mind, the way you're thinking waters it. It's how people perceive you now. It's how people are talking about you. It's the conversations that have been had about you. It's all of the things that have taken place. And it's like, well, how long have they been saying this? And how long has this been going on? And how long? And so what are people thinking about me? Which inevitably destabilizes you to where you're not doing anything, right? Proverbs 18:8 says the word of a gossip, the words of gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the innermost parts. Um, a rumor without name is not news, it's just noise. Okay. And noise is only powerful if you turn up the volume. Okay. Don't water what they don't sow, they don't show you. If they don't show you proof, it is what it is. And I made the comment, if these people are saying thing, give me three. How many of it was the verbiage of, do you know how many people have come to me and said things about you? And I thought, well, give me three. It was almost when it was the scenario of when God was talking to, when Abraham, not Abraham, was it Abraham? Yeah, when Abraham was talking to God about, Sodom and Gomorrah. If I find three, if I find 50, give me 50, I just said, give me three, give me three people. Conversation ended right there. Okay. So, all right. Truth number two, overthinking is the intended outcome, not the side effect. So here's what I need you to understand. They want you to overthink about who you are, why you are, where you are, your purpose. They want you to overthink all of that. And even it was like that when I remember just thinking about having this, when I said that, it was making me think back to when I was in church and they would say things about you and it make you overthink your purpose. It made you overthink, am I supposed to be here? Am I doing the right thing? Am I called to be, the prophet or the intercessor? Is that what I'm doing? So I need you to understand that the mechanics of what just happened when someone uses this kind of language on you, they did not accidentally leave out details. There was no accident. Okay, that was purposeful. The vagueness is the strategy because if they told you specifically what was said, then you can evaluate it, respond to it, dismiss it, or address it. But they leave you in this vagueness. And so it's making you now you have to ask the question of, well, what was the conversation? Number one, for me, how did my name come up in conversation? And then why was it so free for you to just have this conversation and this dialogue with somebody? Because then my question is, what did you say? Okay. But when they leave it undefined, your imagination fills in the gap. Okay. So now you start like, okay, well, who was the person? Who could it be? And so you're guessing. Okay. And your imagination, if it's still running on old wiring, will always fill in the gaps with the worst fear about yourself. That's not an accident. They make you feel this way. That's the design, the whole concept, the whole design of why they did what they did. The overthinking is not your weakness. It is a weapon working exactly as intended. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. We're taking every thought and we're making obedient to the word. Okay. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those that eat it, eat the fruit thereof. If you're eating this fruit and you're eating in this seed, it's just going to metastasize into that thing, that negative thought, that negative thinking, the way you're processing, the way you're doing, the way you're handling. So take it captive. The thought that just ran wild with what people might have said, capture it before it builds a house in your mind. Okay. You're not called to live in a story someone else started and refused to finish it. Build your own Shondaland in your mind and build it to where if you could like literally kill off a person, okay, exit them out of the scene, exit them out of the story of your life. When you can do that, that is really showing your strength and your wherewithal on how you're moving and the tactics of others that will not get you into that space of you feeling like you're not good enough or I'm not worthy enough because you are. All right, truth number three. People destabilize what they feel threatened by. That's the only reason why a lot of people attack is because they feel threatened by you. Your gift, your calling, your purpose, your energy when you walk into a room, the way people look at you, the way people talk about you. And usually the way people are talking about you is not the way the person is giving it to you. Because people could be like, oh, she's so sweet. They're so nice or whatever, but it's the way the person takes it and just like they'll twist the words and they'll make it seem like you're a bad person. Hence the reason why they won't fill in the gap or give you the content of what was said. Okay. This is one important, and this one is important. I need you to sit with it. Nobody tries to plant doubt in a woman who isn't doing anything worth noticing. If you are not doing anything worth noticing, no one will ever come and try to attack you. And I always say that if you are doing something and you are moving in your call and your purpose, and there's always an attack, understand that you are moving in your purpose. You are doing something that people are noticing. Okay. Nobody attempts to knock you off your center if your center isn't becoming something powerful. The timing of these kinds of conversation rarely is an accident. Rarely is it an accident. They tend to happen when you're opening up, when you're growing, when you're becoming more visible, when you're confident, you're rooted in who you are, you're understanding who you are, you're knowing, you're expressing that part of yourself. And that's the person delivering the message. And the person delivering the message, even if they don't say it, consciously, if they don't say it out loud, if they don't say it, um, they're reacting to the version of you that makes them feel something. They're reacting to it. They feel threatened, displaced, left behind, and rather than do their own work, they'll try to pull you back into the size, into that feeling of, well, you're beneath me. You'll never make it. You're going to always be here. Okay, because of the information that you've already shared. You opened up to these people and you're giving them this information. And then all of a sudden now they want to make it seem like, oh, well, I'll just keep you beneath me. And so they'll esteem themselves higher than you. Okay. John 15:18 through 19 says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world. You have been chosen out of the world. You are not being attacked because something is wrong with you. You are being attacked because something is right with you. Okay. And someone in your proximity, they can't handle it. They just don't like it. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to put yourself in situations, they just don't like it. So there's a saying that you are the five sum total of people that you hang around. Start hanging around the people that are just like you. Okay. Or the people that you want to be like. Truth number four, you watch someone change, and that's its own information. It's like there's two people operating in one body. Okay. There's something specific that happens when you watch someone shift right in front of you. And I saw it. I literally saw a person shift in a moment's time. And when I saw it, I thought, hmm. And so I started moving accordingly. I thank God that I am in tune, but I'm not where I want to be, but I can say that I can pick up on, the energy and I move accordingly. And so in this situation, it happened and I kind of was like, "Hmm," and I moved accordingly. It was like the information was like downloaded into me and it was like, watch. And I saw, and I was like, wow, like I've never seen that before. And I just started moving accordingly. Okay. When the woman you thought you knew becomes someone else in the middle of a conversation, when the energy changes, the tone changes, and something that felt like safety starts feeling like danger, that moment, as disorienting as it is, throws you off your rocker, throws you off balance. It is a gift. Okay. not a comfortable one, but a gift because you saw something true, not in the performance, the real thing. This was the real person. Just, it's like an entity just bloop, 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 bloop. Okay. And that information, however painful, is exactly what you needed to make a clear-eyed decision about what the relationship is and what assesses it gets access it gets moving forward. You didn't imagine it. There was no like, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, you didn't like, am I? Yeah, you saw it. You saw it for what it was. Trust what you saw. Matthew 7:16 says, be by their fruit, you will recognize them. Never would have thought that the person would have been the way that they were until you're out somewhere and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they're not like this any other time. So how did we get here? Okay. You don't need someone to confirm what you saw with your own eyes. Trust your discernment. Fruit doesn't lie, even when a person holding it does. If it's an apple, it's an apple. No matter who is holding it, it's an apple. Truth number 5, staying rooted in yourself, the most powerful response is that's the most powerful response that you have. When the situation happened for me, it did throw me off. Number one, because there was like, I was inebriated at the time and I was so hurt and devastated by the situation that happened that I was thrown off and I wasn't rooted in the person that I knew I could have been until it was later on. And then I just moved accordingly after. So here's what the person who planted the seed was counting on and that you would come back smaller. The interaction would make you second guess the opening up. Why did I meet this person? What was the purpose? And oh, I shouldn't have told them that. They want you to stop loving yourself so loudly. Um, that's the goal. The ultimate goal is for them to put you into this space. And it's so crazy because you would never have thought that it would have been this person, like the person that you have been opening up to for years. We're seeing it all over TikTok where girls are best friends and then they're going out of town and they're with these girls and then all of a sudden like this whole dynamic happens, this shift happens, and now they're on social media and they're giving all of this information. Okay. Um, the most disruptive thing you can do, the thing that refuses to give seed to any soil, is to stay exactly who you are becoming. Um, not to confront, not to prove yourself, not to chase down what was said, but by just keeping it moving. Okay. Keep growing, keep opening, keep loving yourself with the same energy that brought you to this person before, um, and what they tried to interrupt. That's not naivety, that's power. And people would always say, oh, you're so, you're so naive, you're so, you're so sweet. But it's just like, you think so, but I'm watching. Okay. A tree planted by the water does not panic when the wind comes. It bends, but it stays rooted. So stay rooted. Let them see their words did not move your roots. Okay. Psalms 1 and 3. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yield its fruit in season and whose leaves do not wither. Where do not wither. Whatever they do, it prospers. No matter what they say, no matter how they say it, who they say it to, no matter how they spread it, you need to stay rooted in who you are, knowing the foundation of where you've come from and where you've been in these past 5 years is it says enough. It really says enough. I want to say something to the women who walked into this room still carrying what someone said or almost said, or they implied it. Okay. I want you to hear this clearly. Their words only have the power that you give to them. And you get to decide how much soil you give that seed that came with no proof, no specifics, no draft, no point of contact, no nothing. And give it genuine love behind it. Don't water it, don't tend to it, don't build on the story. And when we say don't build on the story, that means that's like rehearsing the story. Like I usually have the private conversations. I talk to myself about it. And it's just if I'm talking to that person. So I'm having this conversation. So that's really reliving the conversation. Don't build on it anymore. Okay. Let it die down to the ground and of your discernment. You are too rooted, you're too called. Okay, we know that we've come too far to allow a person to knock us off. Um, and you're too far in your becoming to let someone else's unnamed words or unnamed intentions or unnamed behaviors to write the next chapter of your life. So we're going to close that chapter today. I went backwards. Sorry. So we're going to get honest, and here's some journal prompts that you can use to have this conversation. What's watering, getting honest about what was planted. And we can even go back in time, when we were first meeting and we were talking about our mothers and, maybe fathers and, people in our lives. These things have been planted in us. And so it just carries over to the next part. And so when these things come up, for me, I believe it is a way of us being um, aware that we need to handle this situation and we need to learn how to navigate it. Because when this person was coming, the attack was almost similar to something that I used to go through with my mom. And so navigating that attack, it was all it was is just I had this like, oh my God, this is my mother. Like, oh my gosh, I had to deal with this. So this is for you to really, you can do all the journal prompts, you can do one or two, but it's basically for you to get down to the root of why did this affect me the way it did. Had a little group discussion, and you can put these answers in the comments section. So the vagueness, what did it feel like? Because when the person said it to me, it was just almost like, well, why would you bring that to my attention? And then another thing is, why would you want to hang around a person when people are constantly coming to you saying these negative things about me? Like it didn't make sense to me, but it was just like whatever. And it didn't make sense until after because of the simple fact that I had been going through, um, there was just it was in the moment. And it was just like whatever. Now I'm just it's whatever. I know the truth about who I am, and I'm not going to navigate that. So the bridge belief is something that was built on throughout what I've been going through, and it's just rebuilding a pathway of what we used to think. So from the seed someone planted to the ground you're standing on, the bridge for tonight is about refusing to give the unnamed words a home in your identity, moving from what was planted to actually what is actually true about you. Okay. People haven't been saying things about me, and I don't know what it, which know what, which it which means it could be anything. So I don't know what people were saying about me, but they were like, how many people are coming to me saying things about you? And I thought, well, give me three. And then what was it? What was the conversation? What was the topic of conversation? So it's an unnamed accusations are not evidence. I don't have to build a case against myself from someone else's vague words. It's empty, right? So once you start getting that foundation and you start standing on it, I don't know. I know who I am. What cannot be named cannot define me. I refuse to water what was never mine to carry. It reminds me of that. Uh, um, uh, what's his name? Look at me. Does does what you say about me? Do you think it bears weight on me? What's his name? Oh gosh, Shador. Shador. His dad. Memory is just. Here's another one. Maybe I should stop opening up. Maybe becoming more visible is making me a target. Bridge. Being a target is not a reason to shrink. It is often a sign I'm moving in the right direction. That's like between the bridge between with the old and the new you. You're on that bridge. Now we're getting over the bridge. I will not close myself off because someone was uncomfortable with me opening up. I keep growing. I'm not gonna keep myself in a stagnant place. Deion Sanders, thank you, Spirit, because like that took forever. Um, but that I just want to go back to when he did that. Look at me. Does what you think about what you say about me, do you think it has bearing on me? It was that whole little TikTok thing, but that's what that reminds me of. When you know who you are, what anybody says about you it doesn't hold weight There's no weight to what you say about me. And I could care less at this point. I will say, did it affect me in the moment? Absolutely. But after the more I thought about it and the more I understood who I am, it was like, that's one person. And then I know that there are people out there, and the reason why they're saying it is because number one, it's a woman that doesn't like me, based off of probably a man or just who I am. Or two, it's a man that doesn't like me because he tried to talk to me and he couldn't get to me. So there's many reasons why people are saying the thing that they're saying, or they just couldn't match my energy because I'm different. All right, so this is your journal prompt, and you're going to write your own bridge belief based off of this information here. What was planted in me? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a current event. It could be something that happened a long time ago where someone said something to you, and now you have to build the bridge between the old and the new to get to, this place of knowing who you are and taking that ownership and saying, please, you could say whatever you want to say about me. So here's your closing declaration. I will not water what they won't show me. I will not build a case against myself from someone else's unnamed words. I know what I saw, I know what I felt, and I refuse to shrink. Because someone was uncomfortable with how much I was growing, the seed has no soil here. My mind is not a garden for other people's doubt. I am rooted. I am opening up anyway. I am loving myself anyway. I am becoming her anyway. What cannot be named cannot define me. And I keep going for real. Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. So here is the workshops that not workshop, but this is the coaching that I provide for each and every one of you. As you can see, I am certified. And so these are the information that I have. I am a life coach, I'm a transformational coach, and I'm a cognitive behavioral coach. When we talk about cognitive behavior, it's the way we think and how we take in information. So the information that we take in, it is basically, is that something that I want to leave at my table, or is that something that I want to do? We can do a free 20-minute complimentary discovery call, no pressure. It's something you want to do. And then there's all the prices that are listed there. And I want to thank you again. So I want to be able to create something in your life special, and we can do amazing things together in a community.